Hi, I've got something you'll be interested in. Those performance upgrades we discussed after the last race. They're on the car and the data looks promising. Take a look at the details.
What's up guys, and welcome back to a brand new episode of my F1 2017 career mode, and we are here for round number 13 of the season for the Italian Grand Prix, and episode number 73 I think in total, so not too bad, and making our way into the season quite nicely there. But I just showed you on the screen right now, obviously the upgrade has successfully arrived for this race, and also if you just flash back to the screen a moment ago with the R&D, both Mercedes, Force India and Red Bull all brought upgrades to this race, and Ferrari have not. And the gap between Ferrari and the other three teams is actually the closest it's been all season. So pretty interesting stat, that one, and a pretty interesting thing to point out going into this race, where obviously this is a race where Ferrari are expected to perform and obviously try and win the race in front of their home fans. So a lot of pressure on the red cars this weekend, and we can just chill out and also do our thing at the same time and not have a bad race like the last one which we had in Spa, which if you did miss it, I do urge you to check it out in the card annotation in the top right hand corner of the screen. But jumping into Friday practice here at Italy, and I swear I've not scripted this, but yet another wet practice session, and I don't know how this keeps happening, but once again wet conditions to do the first three parts of the practice programs, and then eventually I switched over to practice 2 to actually do the race strategy and qualifying performance tests to get the most accurate data possible for the rest of the race weekend. Now for Friday practice, I was actually using the second power unit, which is one that's slightly less worn than the first one. But I'm using the second one basically for practice sessions, and that way we're going to actually debut power unit 4 for this weekend. So once this weekend's over and done with, all 4 power units would have been used at the end of this weekend, and we're going to use basically 3 and 4 for qualifying and races for the rest of the season, and power unit 2 will pretty much remain as a practice only power unit, and also practice 3 and the third power unit eventually will become a practice 1 I think also later on in the season. But I think we should be okay, and I think this might be the first season where we managed to get through a whole season with using just the 4 engines, so I'd be pretty happy with that one if that actually turned out. But just reading the comments down below, guys, I noticed that you guys sort of getting a bit frustrated me being at Mercedes, and obviously would like me to go maybe to a different team. So I'm keeping that in mind for when it comes to assessing my contract options for next season. But for now, we do have a championship to win, and that's exactly what I'll plan on doing. So jumping into Saturday qualifying now, and nice sunny conditions as expected at Italy. And in Q1, a very solid lap there, got us through in 4th place. Raikkonen surprisingly opting for the soft compound tyres, and then in Q2, we got held up by a minor fault on the car, which was about 8 minutes worth of repair time. Quite a chunk of time, to be fair. And then I went out to the track on the soft compound tyres, and really trying to find the ragged edge and really the limit of the track, as you just saw a moment ago, and pushing this car to the limit. And eventually we would cross the line for a respectable lap time there to go 2nd place, and eventually we'd only finish the session in P3, so a very good lap time there. And the only man alongside Vettel and Ricciardo opting for the soft compound tyres, so a very good Q2 session. But moving into Q3 now, the final part of qualifying, we're going to run a board for my best lap of the session, and straight away into the first corner you want to go down to 3rd gear, bang on the 100 meter board. I just sort of have to correct my entry and take a second stab at the first part of the chicane there, and that cost me probably about a 10th I reckon, just also locking up the right front, which wasn't ideal, but a good exit out the chicane nonetheless, and cracking on with my lap. And now into turn number 4, down to 4th gear. My personal preference for this corner, avoid the orange sausage curb as much as you can on the inside, as they can put your car up in the air. And then through turn 6 into Lesmo 1, 5th gear, really trying to find the limit of the track here, just about keeping it within track limits, and the same applies for Lesmo number 2, just about keeping it within the white lines there. Then open up the DRS onto the back straight, and basically you want to brake around the 100 meter board for the Ascari chicane. Very tricky corner, a lot of time to be gained or lost if you get it wrong or right respectively. In this case, I absolutely get it nailed on, and a perfect flawless run through there as Hamilton goes fastest there with a pretty damn good lap time. And the question is, can we match that with only one more corner to go into the Parabolica now? 50 meter board down at 5th gear, really find the limit of the track, short shift to 6th to try and pick up the traction as soon as possible and keep a nice tight right hand line, and to try and get the shortest run to the finish line. And across the line we go. The question is, where is the lap going to put us? And it's going to be 3rd place, so not too bad there, and I believe only around a 10th shy of Lewis Hamilton. So A pretty good qualifying 3-lap there, and Raikkonen actually splits both of the Mercedes there, and Ocon and Perez getting their 4th and 5th, and Sebastian Vettel way down in P10 there, 2.4 off the pace, so something happened there with Sebastian. But myself and Lewis, pretty good qualifying laps. Lewis takes pole, Raikkonen in 2nd, and the pressure's on him tomorrow to try and deliver in front of his home fans. So without further ado, let's jump straight into Sunday for round number 13 for the Italian Grand Prix. Right, here we are then on the grid for the Italian Grand Prix. P3 on the grid behind Lewis Hamilton and Kimi Raikkonen. So Raikkonen obviously my rival and also championship rival in 2nd place there. And Lewis Hamilton obviously in pole. So if he can try and convert it to a race win, that'd be very good for his championship hopes. And also for us as a constructor. And also just good for himself to give himself a good on morale boost. But overall, a very impressive qualifying performance from those two guys. I did a pretty good lap. I thought it was near perfect, maybe with a few minor issues, but overall it was a pretty solid lap, and I think those two just managed to hook up a better lap than me. But obviously we've got to point out, in the race strategy itself, we're going to be starting on the soft compound tyres compared to their super softs. We're the only person in the top 10, I believe, except Vettel and I think Ricciardo, who are starting on soft. So it's going to make things very interesting. And speaking of tyres, in terms of the race strategy, you can see that we're going to go for a one-stop, switching over to the medium compound tyres in our one and only stop, and completely avoiding the super soft compound tyre. Also, I've overfueled the car by half a lap, as I'm not looking to use a lot of rich mix, as I've got pretty low error on the car by default around here. So hopefully we can have a good race and try and have a good performance and bounce back from the Belgian Grand Prix. So without further ado, let's jump straight to the race now for round number 13 for the Italian Grand Prix. Right then, here we go. We're going to gear up to the 5 red lights for the Italian Grand Prix. And it's lights out and away we go. It's a good start from Hamilton, pretty good start from myself actually on the soft compound tyres. Raikkonen never really got away off the line, and the Force Indians, oh my days, incredible start from the Force Indians. I've got a Red Bull on my outside here. We've got to try and avoid having contact, and Raikkonen and Ocon are going side by side here. Raikkonen just pulls in front of the Force India. Hamilton leads the way, incredible start there from my teammate, and Ocon all over the back of Kimi Raikkonen here early on, and Perez picking up a massive slipstream off of his teammate, but no moves being done into the next corner here. So it's going to be single file going into the chicane as Hamilton leads the way. We're on the soft compound tyres and we've had a poor start, dropping 2 places here. So we've got to try and respond and also see what our pace is like relative to these guys on super softs. Also Hulkenberg behind me there, incredible start up in the P6 for him. But let's try and settle into this race now and find some overall race pace and try and chase down the guys in front. Particularly we've got to try and not let Raikkonen get out of sight. Okay, so far, early sit rep going on to lap 3. Hamilton fastest man, but we're not doing too bad actually on this soft compound tyre. Pace is pretty damn good, so if we can keep it going this way, then we might be with a shout of making this strategy work beautifully for us. But DRS is now enabled, so this is going to make things very interesting as we're pretty much following Raikkonen, who doesn't seem to have great pace early on here, and the Mercedes power cars are actually dominating, similar to Baku here early on. Right now we are literally neck and neck for pace. No one is faster than anybody else, and the DRS is basically neutralising the effect of straight line speed, and Raikkonen is fast, but he's not particularly fast, and we're all so close for pace. Even Hamilton up front, it's literally just exchanging lap times here and sector times, but we're just all so close for pace here. It's going to take a mistake like I just do there for someone to make the pass, because literally it's so close. Oh, Perez up the inside of his teammate at the Parabolica here. The Force India's finally going to battle, and Perez does seem to be a little bit faster than his teammate. And there you go, Perez making the move, but they're going to be side by side down the pitch straight. Raikkonen picking up the pace now and catching up to Lewis Hamilton. And I think Raikkonen is within DRS of Hamilton, but look at this, the Force India's still battling away. Perez holding on to the lead of his teammate there, but now going to the first chicane. We've got to play this very tactically here because we can pick up the pieces, and these two still side by side. Incredible action here, and Raikkonen now on the back of Lewis Hamilton, and Raikkonen making moves, and here we go, side by side the Force Indians. I'm going to pick up a huge slipstream here. We're going to pull to the inside, make it 3 wide. Do we get it on the brakes? Up the inside, lock up on the left front. Oh yes, beautiful move. What an overtake, and that is what I'm talking about. Playing my cards wisely, taking it easy and waiting for the chance to strike. But what a lovely move, lock up and everything, and we get past the Force Indians. The issue now is though, I left myself exposed to an attack here from Perez with DRS, and he might make the move. Meanwhile, Raikkonen has already flown past Lewis Hamilton. Here comes Sergio Perez into the Ascari chicane. He's going to actually get past me. I'm going to try and cut back underneath him, but I just can't get through Perez overtakes me and retakes third place there for now. Ocon now in my slipstream as well, trying to make a move here, but let's try and re-overtake Perez here. I'm going to hold up for now and pick up the DRS. Going to be cheeky about this and not rush into the move, and now get a good exit out of Parabolica, which is exactly what I've done. And now we just wait to deploy the DRS and make the pass on Sergio Perez here, and this should be a fairly straightforward overtake. Meanwhile, Hamilton trying to re-pass Kimi Räikkönen as we swoop to the inside and get past Sergio Perez there and take third place. So there we go. We got past the Force Indians. Now we've got to try and keep pace with Räikkönen, and that might mean having to overtake my teammate Lewis Hamilton. So let's see how this pans out. Right, okay, there we go. We've got the first stops of the race. Räikkönen and Hamilton and also Sergio Perez in the pit lane as we set personal best. So interesting strategy here. There is a chance they could go on mediums and try and get those to the end. So interesting strategies. And there you go. Räikkönen does go into the medium. So Räikkönen is going to the end of the race on those tyres. So it's now time to respond. I've got some tyres left. So it's time to go for the overcut and try and gain some time on Kimi. So let's push now. We've got some clean air. Right, okay, here we go then. We're going to come into the pit lane. My last lap wasn't great, but this one was better. I'm on for a personal best, about 2/10 up on what my current personal best is, but we get it all slowed down just about perfectly for the pit entry now. And now it's a question of a nice quick pit stop, and hopefully Räikkönen might have got caught up in some traffic or something, but we're going to have to wait and see how that one pans out. Here we go, 2.5, not too shabby onto the medium tyres. The good thing is I'm going to have a couple of laps fresher tyres compared to everyone else basically. Ocon also came in last lap and came in for mediums, but the question is, where are we going to rejoin here once we get back onto track? Hamilton has actually gone past us, and Hamilton is back up into a winning position basically, and Räikkönen's nowhere to be seen. What's happened to Räikkönen? I don't know what's happened, but Ocon's in a net third, so I can't see Ferrari. I can see a Ferrari there, but is that Räikkönen maybe? I don't know, but Räikkönen has had some sort of issue, so it's a Mercedes 1-2 in Ferrari's backyard, so this is very, very good indeed. Oh, VSE, right, okay. Will that answer some questions maybe? I don't know, but no one's retired, so this is very, very weird. I don't know what's happening now, but yeah, I wonder where Räikkönen's gone. Okay, Lewis Pitts off of the medium tyres. What's happening there? That is very, very strange. I don't know what to say. That is weird strategy. I don't know, but I'm not going to complain. I'm now into the net race lead, so we can now cruise to the finish basically, but that's weird. And Verstappen out of the race for the second race running. That is RB13, eh? Unlucky for a couple, and Max Verstappen in particular, but that is very strange. I'm really confused by what's happened. Räikkönen has disappeared, and Lewis has only lasted like 3-4 laps on those medium tyres. I really don't know what to say. That is very, very strange. Right, Ocon has mechanical issues with his car, which is something we've seen far too often this season on Perez's. So it looks like Ocon now, it's his turn to have a few issues, but yeah, he's going to drop off, and Grosjean's right in front. He's now the current race leader, but I'm the net race leader, so I'm going to come by to overtake him fairly swiftly here. So right now it's very comfortable, and obviously because I can't see Hamilton or Räikkönen anywhere near me, it's fairly comfortable at the minute. These mediums don't feel great, but luckily I don't feel like I'm under threat, so we're good. Okay, I'm all over the back of Romain Grosjean here. We're going to try and make the move, but look at that. Räikkönen is in third place. It turns out he was the man that was behind Ocon, so we're going to be under pressure now. Räikkönen is on the hunt, and he's going to try and hunt me down. For some reason, just like in Spa, he's got loads of pace in that second stint, which is not ideal. So Räikkönen is going to be trying to chase me down, and I've passed Grosjean in not the best position. I've set a fast lap of the Grand Prix, but Grosjean might re-overtake me. But then again, look at my straight line speed. I'm actually being able to defend quite nicely here. So we're going to hold on to the lead of the race for now, and Räikkönen doesn't set a fastest lap. So I think in this initial phase, we've got the pace to respond to Räikkönen so far. Right, going on to lap 23 with 5 full racing laps to go, and my pace has dropped off a bit on this tyre. It's not as good as it once felt, and Räikkönen is still pushing like an absolute madman. The gap down to 3 seconds here, so Räikkönen really starting to catch up, but I wonder if he's got enough laps there. 3 seconds for 5 laps is going to be very close, but the gap what he's getting is only a couple of tenths a lap, so I think I can keep under control unless my tyres just take a turn for the worse. But for so far, I mean, they're all right at the moment, so we should be okay. On the grass, damn it, oops, little mistake, first one I've made all race, just left front on the grass in the second Lesmo there by accident, but no major time lost. Right, on to the last lap of the race, and I feel like Raikkonen might be using rich mix here. And look at that, 22.4, what a time for the fastest lap. Raikkonen pushing even more. I'm going to squeeze him as much as I can. A little bit of contact here, and into turn one on the brakes. I've locked up hugely. I'm going to have to hold the inside here. I'm all over the curb. Have I got the traction? Come on. Oh, Raikkonen's just done me. He's absolutely done me. Disappointed, but Raikkonen was pushing that entire final stint, and I mean, he did a 22.4 right at the end. I could not match that lap time, so fair play to him. I mean, Raikkonen deserves it. He had the pace, and there's not much you can do when someone has the pace like that. I mean, that lap, I don't know where he's pulled that 22.4 at the back from on literally the penultimate lap, but fair play to him. What a lap that was, and there was no way I was matching that. I did my best lap right at the start, and then my tyres never felt the same ever after that. So overall disappointing in a way, but not too bad, because obviously second place is still fairly respectable and a good amount of points. So overall not too shabby. Raikkonen wins in the backyard of Ferrari, so they'll be very happy with that one, and that might be a little momentum booster for him to try and keep on pushing this season. Meanwhile, we get second, and Ocon wraps up the podium, so fair play to him. What a result. But we're now going to move into the final race results, drivers and constructors standings. Right, so looking at the final race results, Raikkonen wins his home race, or his team's home race, should I say, for Monza. We come home in a pretty good second place, and Ocon rounds up the podium. Lewis Hamilton only manages P4 after starting from pole position, and Sergio Perez finishes in 5th. Sebastian Vettel, starting from 10th place, manages to get himself a very good 6th place, and Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Grosjean and Massa round up the points. But in terms of the retirements further down the order, Verstappen and Ericsson are the two to retire today in this race. Verstappen for the second race running. In terms of the driver standings though, Raikkonen trims down my lead to 21 points now, and Hamilton and I say Vettel, but now Perez has overtaken Vettel now, so Sergio Perez up into 4th place in the Drivers' Championship. Incredible stuff there, and fair play to him, really doing a good job. And that battle for 3rd place is up for grabs between Lewis, Perez, Vettel and Ocon, so a 4-way scrap there for 3rd place at the moment. But in terms of the constructors, finally Ferrari cut down lead a little bit more, and us Mercedes, as a team, we actually extend our lead to 37 points slightly, so a little bit of an improvement compared to the last race. But we are now going to move into the laptop for the final part of the video. Okay, so looking at the R&D tree, we are not going to purchase any upgrades for the next race, and the reason being is because obviously we've got 900 odd points, and the aero ones, which is the ones I want to focus on now for the rest of the season, are 1,000 each. So we'll probably save up a few more points before we start buying these, and we'll probably get a few of these after the next race in Singapore. But nonetheless, guys, hopefully you have enjoyed this episode of Career Mode, and if you have, then please do smash the like button. Let's try and smash 300 likes for this episode. Also, subscribe to the channel if you're new around here, and also please be sure to check out the links in the description down below for GT Omega and also past episodes. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next video very soon. Goodbye.